Gregory is also hoping to put the brakes on that 4-game losing streak. The Riders started the season in such fine form, going 4-1 through their first 5 games, but they have not won a game in over a month. The kickoff bounces away from Guy. He has to chase it down to the goal line. And the Riders are going to start in a big hole back at their own 3. Stopped by Gerald Bayless and Reggie Pleasant.
Tom Burgess will come on the field right now, Don, complaining all the way out there, talking to himself. When you receive a kickoff, you're hoping to get it out around midfield, not down on your own 4-yard line. Tough place to start. He believes that the Argonauts are going to hit him with a lot of zone. They're not going to give him those big plays. I think I agree with him. So this could make it an awful long drive.
They spot the ball actually at the 4-yard line. That's where Saskatchewan scrimmages 1st and 10, and the pitch goes to Tim McRae. He follows a good lead block from Milson Jones and Brian Ellerbrun, and he gets up to the 13-yard line.
Saskatchewan tonight, no different than most of the games that they've played in this year. Burgess has to be the trigger man. They got to work Don Narcisse tonight because of the zone. They got to work outside. Jeff Fairholm caught only 1 pass this last week against Winnipeg. They look for a big game from him. Tim McRae has been the guy averaging 5.7s every time he carries the football and got speed to break it.
Short yardage offense is in there. Tony Visco came up to stop Milson Jones. Let's see where they spotted. He appears to be just a little short of a 1st down. Very early in the football game, it's going to be decision time for John Gregory.
Well, if it's less than a yard, I think he'll go get it. Defensively, they obtained Joe March from Calgary, comes over, 4 quarterback sacks. He's got to get upfield, contain Tom Burgess. Harold Hallman's got to get pressure from the inside. In fact, that entire front 4 have got to get to Burgess. And Reggie Pleasant on the corner along with Ed Berry, they've got to shut down Narcisse if they're going to have any hopes tonight.
Well, the Roughriders are going to gamble on 3rd down. They're 3rd and about 1 foot. They send Narcisse wide to the left. The Argos stacking up that middle, anticipating a quarterback sneak. Burgess keeps it. Should have the 1st down, as it appears as though he drove out to the 15-yard line, much to the relief of John Gregory.
Just gets in behind Brian Ellerbrun. Billy comes off the ball, 280 pounds, and you get in behind him, you'll get a yard.
1st and 10 Saskatchewan, the Riders at their own 15-yard line. Look for the Riders to do a few things differently during the course of this ball game, which is lining up 3 receivers to the same side with the Argos in that zone defense. Tim McRae battles his way out to about the 22-yard line. He leads the league in all-purpose yards. I don't think there's a back in the league that has had as many passes thrown his direction this year as Tim McRae.
Well, early in the year, they were blitzing, and when they started to blitz, Tom Burgess would send McRae in motion. That would tip off the coverage, and he would just get McRae on a linebacker and dump him the football, and McRae makes big yards when you do that. As you talked about getting 3 receivers to one side, really they're putting 5 across the field, and that spreads out the defense.
Milson Jones gets the 1st down out across the 25-yard line to the 27. We talked at the start of the telecast about the Toronto Argonauts being the lowest scoring team in the league. Pavo Bilovich is concerned about that lack of offense. Defensively, though, the Argos have allowed the 2nd lowest number of points in the league.
I think what's happening is that their offense is moving the football, but they're not putting it in the end zone, but in time using up the clock. And their defense doesn't have to be out there all the time. When you get in trouble, when your defense puts in a lot of time on the field, you give up a lot of points.
1st and 10 from the 27. There's a penalty flag on the play. It appeared as though Bruce Holmes, who moved from that middle linebacking position to the outside, may have gone across that 1-yard area, and that's the indication from referee Ross Perrier. He was the man who made the tackle on the play, but the penalty will probably be taken and accepted by Saskatchewan, and it will be 1st and 5. It's a lot easier to operate 1st and 5 than 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 10.
Offside, Toronto number 58, 1st down repeated.
You know, even though the Toronto Argonauts play in the Sky Dome, they get in it about as often as the visiting teams because they practice the day before a game. They play the game here, but during the week, They do not get any opportunity to work out in the dome. As a matter of fact, trying to find a place to practice has been a major problem this year for the Argos. They have removed the artificial turf from CNE Stadium, so the Argos have had to do some scrambling. Lamport Stadium, where they have worked out, has been booked for a number of events. They've had to travel around to some of the high schools in the area. Burnhamthorpe has been one that they have frequented most often.
Yeah, that's not good. You know, you get into the routine, you get to know your field, and that field means a lot to you. And this one really doesn't mean anything to him yet.
Milson Jones gets it out to the 38-yard line. 11:20 the time remaining in this opening quarter. The Riders have had the ball since the opening kickoff, starting from their own 4-yard line. They have moved that ball well out to the 39.
Gerald Bayless got into the backfield, made a lot of penetration, but he was unable to bring him down. Milson Jones, we talked about last week, just has that running style that makes him hard to bring down, and he picked up the 1st and 10. So they have moved the football, and this is a big thing for an offense to do.
There are those 3 receivers to the same side. There's the pass for Fairholm, incomplete. Carl Brazeley was there to deflect it away.
Well, that time, the Toronto Argonauts decided to go after Burgess. They're going to mix it up. They gave him the blitz, but the blitz is being tipped off by the depth of their secondary, and Burgess is going to find that real quick. But he stood in there a long time, and as he threw it downfield, at the last minute, up goes Brazeley's hand and knocks it away from Fairholm. Fairholm had maneuvered in behind him, but at the last second, Brazeley saw it.
2nd and 10. That was the first pass of the ball game. Here's another one over the middle to Fairholm. It's intercepted by Brazeley. Reggie Pleasant throws one block, but coming back to get in the play is Fairholm to make the tackle. But the Argos take over at the Saskatchewan 50 following that interception by Brazeley. Saskatchewan drive that had consumed almost 5 minutes on the clock and gives the Argos the ball at the 50 of Saskatchewan.
That's the zone defense in operation, Don. Carl Brazeley had dropped to the wide side of the field, but when Tom Burgess laid the ball up high down the middle, he went to the football when the ball was in the air, made a very easy interception. He just kind of reached in and grabbed, didn't have to jump or anything. He got him out of trouble. That's the thing that the Argonauts want to do with the zone. Force Tom Burgess to earn it, throw it hard. That time he laid it up, Brazeley went and got it.
Those are not the numbers that carried the Argos to 14-4 last year. And Gilbert Renfro has to get on track if the Argos are going to have any success in the second half.
Yeah, they have a lot of good personnel on this football team, but the point is, you got to play together. That's why it's a team game, Don. They don't seem to be doing that.
The pitch to Gil Fennerty. And Fennerty picks up about 3 yards before being stopped. He's the leading rusher in the Canadian Football League. He's on target to go over 1,500 yards if he maintains the same pace through the second half.
Yeah, I think when you play the Toronto Argonauts, you must stop Gil Fennerty. He's going to have the football most of the time. Darryl Smith has caught 45 passes, but he's yet to get in the end zone. And Eric Hoskins, they want some play from the other slot. He's in there tonight. It's a big chance for him. I think he's got to be looking forward to playing, and Renfro's got to use him.
2nd and 7. Darryl Smith makes the catch, fumbles the ball, and it's picked up by Eddie Lowe. He'll outrun Rodney Harding. No, he won't. That was Hudson who made a dive at him to get him and brings him down at the 12-yard line.
When you throw that type of a pass on into the flat against the defense with the corner, in this case Harry Skipper, rolled up, you're asking for a problem, and that's exactly what they got. Right out in the flat. Watch number 26. He's sitting in the flat waiting on it. He makes the hit. Now Eddie Lowe picks it up. I'll tell you one thing. Hudson showed an awful lot of speed to catch Eddie Lowe. Could be a touchdown saver because I thought he was going to walk in there. But I'll tell you, they're right back in trouble.
It looked as though Eddie Lowe was going to go all the way, but he was caught down at the 13-yard line. 1st and 10 Saskatchewan. They send Narcisse wide to the right. Guy splits left. The pitch to Tim McRae. McRae has no running room. Carl Brazeley moved up to make the tackle. That interception by Brazeley, by the way, was his first of the season.
Obilovich can't be pleased about this. When you take over at midfield, all it takes is the first down or so, and you're at least into Chalmers' field goal range. Instead, he sees his defense with their backs to the wall, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders with a pretty high-powered offense looking to put 7 on the board.
It's 2nd and 11 Saskatchewan as McCray was thrown for a loss of 1 yard. Burgess flips it out to Milson Jones, but he won't get a first down. He's stopped at the 5 by Tony Visco and Bruce Holmes.
Even with the ball inside the 10-yard line as it was, the Toronto Argonauts dropped into a zone defense, which they put 4 people in the end zone. This is the only place he has to throw the ball. And you see Visco along with Holmes. Those are the linebackers along with the secondary coming up to make the hit, force them to kick the field goal.
You saw Burgess signal to the bench that it was 2 yards short of a first down. So the Roughriders send in the short yardage offense. Daniels comes in. Jurison is in, along with Gary Lewis.
It's a little bit of a surprise. That looks to me almost a little over 2 yards.
Milson Jones trying to get it as he made it. The Argos feel that they threw him back. It is going to require a measurement to determine whether or not they got the first down.
They got the cutoff back blocks on the backside of that play, and that's where Milson Jones decided to go. Rodney Harding and his friend were there. Didn't look like he got far enough.
So the Argos stop them. You're watching Foster's CFL on CBC. Under the direction of Gil Renfro from their own 3-yard line. 1st and 10 Toronto. Hand off to Hudson. He'll only get a couple of yards.
Well, he's only carried the ball 4 times this year, so he's not the guy that's going to get the yards for him. Gil Finnerty is, but I think what they try to do there is get him the key on Finnerty and slant to him and then run away from him. But no avail. He only got 1.5 yards, so it puts him in a pretty tough down. They got to put it up.
2nd down and 8. The ball just outside the 5-yard line. Masati comes wide to the right. Jeff Boyd splits left. Over the middle, and there was a mix-up between Renfro and Darrell Smith as that pass was nowhere near the Toronto slot back. As a matter of fact, Saskatchewan's Glenn Suter almost came up with an interception.
Well, it's a zone defense. The linebackers drop out of there. Smith went underneath him. Even if he catches the football, he's going to be 4 yards short of the first down. I know he takes a hit, and that it's a 3-step, a quick pass by the quarterback. But, I mean, if he hits it, he doesn't make the first down. And to me, it's not a good call. You pick that guy out, go one-on-one with him, and beat him.
Saskatchewan is going to get the ball back in good field position. Richie Hall and Albert Brown are back for this 3rd down punt by Hank Olisic. It bounces to Hall at the 47-yard line, trying to get to the outside. He's run out of bounds by Warren Hudson, but Saskatchewan will scrimmage 1st and 10 from the 36 of the Argos. The Hamilton Tiger Cats lead the Eastern Division 2 points ahead of Winnipeg. Tomorrow, the Ticats take on the still winless Ottawa Roughriders. We'll have that game for you on CBC television. Winnipeg is at home tomorrow to the BC Lions. Edmonton with that victory last night over Calgary, leading the West, 9 wins, 1 loss. The Saskatchewan Roughriders in last place. They share that distinction with the BC Lions. Burgess with good protection. He swings it out of there. McCray will have 8 yards before being brought down by linebacker Don Moan.
He caught Toronto Argonauts in a man-to-man defense that time, but the linebacker didn't run with McCray in the flat. He dropped back into the hook zone, which means Brazeley has to take the flat. Brazeley tried to gamble. He guessed with Tom Burgess and lost, so Burgess throws it out in the flat. That's what the game's all about there. Brazeley gambles, Burgess wins. Last time, Burgess threw down the middle. Brazeley went and got it. Just give or take.
5:45 remaining in this opening quarter. It's McCray again. He'll have the first down to the 25. Stopped there by Reg Berry. Reg Berry inserted into the lineup for this ball game as the result of the injury on Labor Day to Doran Major. So we have Ed Berry playing the corner and Reg Berry playing inside.
And Reg Pleasant on the corner. We got a lot of Regs and Eds and Berries. We got everything.
And it's still scoreless here at the Sky Dome. 1st and 10 Saskatchewan at the 25 of the Argos. Burgess Completes the pass to Fairholm for a first down at the 14-yard line. Stopped by Reg Berry. Fairholm has a large cheering contingent here for this ball game. His father has come in from Ottawa, or from Montreal, along with family and friends, and a lot of his friends from Oakville, where he grew up, are in attendance at the ball game.
Bruce Holmes rushes from the outside. Todd Wiseman, the safety, favors Elgard's side. Tom Burgess makes the right read. Fairholm's got nobody but a back behind him. He just throws it right at him like a back catch.
First and 10 from the 14. Narcisse, the intended receiver. He was being covered by Ed Berry. It will be second and 10. John Gregory's team has been down here twice in this opening quarter. They gambled on third down and failed. Now they're looking at second and 10 from the 14.
Well, we're going to see it there. Just run down, break to the post, inside. Anytime the defensive back is behind Narcisse, the quarterback has to throw it low where Narcisse can catch it. He got it up a little bit high. Berry could knock it down even if Narcisse could have caught it.
Here's pressure by Moen. The pass into the end zone. It hit the crossbar. Carl Brazeley was back defending against Ray Elgard, and under that pressure from Moen, Burgess had to throw it quicker than he wanted to, and he hit the crossbar.
Yeah, he threw it off balance, too. The pressure from the Argonauts got to him. Break to the post, grab hold of him. Don't let him run by you that easy. That's what he did. He went to Elgard. The ball hit the crossbar, but he had to throw it off balance because Don Moen was coming.
Dave Ridgway will attempt a 21-yard field goal. Prior to the game, people were asking Ridgway, with the roof open, would it pose any problems? He said, after kicking in Saskatchewan, you never encounter any problems elsewhere. We'll be back after this.
They related to a couple of concussions. Is it as serious as it sounds?
Well, I don't think it's as serious as it sounds. It's just something that we have to get solved. It's something that happened over a couple, 2 or 3 games, and there wasn't one instance where I really got whacked extremely hard. I was unconscious, but there were 3 consecutive games where I did get hit, and I was a little bit dizzy throughout the whole game.
Pinball Clemens is not dressed tonight. He just came over here and asked me to tell a security guard he is a member of the team because the guard was trying to throw him up, but the guard didn't bother with you. Any idea as to why, Glenn?
No, I don't know. They just seem to leave me alone. I must have bad breath or something.
Okay. Don?
And Glenn Kulka's spot in the lineup being taken tonight by Joe March, who was acquired on waivers from the Calgary Stampeders. March played 6 games for the Stampeders. Hoskins on that kickoff return, brought down by Tanao Alapate, and it will be first and 10 for the Toronto Argonauts at their own 40-yard line. Gilbert Renfro only completing 47% of his passes this season. It's a really alarming statistic as far as those following the fortunes of the Argos are concerned, is that he has thrown 1 touchdown pass.
With 12 interceptions. That's the tough one. You know, the relationship isn't good. Like 50-50 is not good, and it's 12-1. That's no good at all.
Gil Fennerty hit right at the line of scrimmage by Eddie Lowe. The ball bounces away. Glenn Suter scoops it up, but the whistle had gone. Eddie Lowe stopped Fennerty right in his tracks, to the delight of head coach John Gregory.
Well, Gil Fennerty's going to be the guy with the football, so Dave Albright, your middle linebacker, has to stop the run. Albert Brown, I really believe they've got to try to work on him tonight and try to get the 1st and 10s out there. And James Curry, he's the leading sacker in the league. He'll try to get Gilbert Renfro.
Second and 10, Renfro moving to the outside, having problems finding a receiver. Flipped it too high for Hoskins, and Toronto will be forced to kick. And the fans here at the Skydome are on Renfro's case. They would like to see John Congemi come into the ball game. When Renfro was hurt in the very first game of the year, Obilovich was forced to go with Congemi, and I thought Congemi played 3 pretty good ball games before he got hurt up in Edmonton.
Played very well, especially that Edmonton game up at Commonwealth Stadium. I thought he seemed to be getting better. You got to realize he didn't start very many football games in the last 3 years. So every time he can play a game, he should get a little bit better. And I thought up in Edmonton he was playing very well, and then he gets injured. And when he played last time in Winnipeg, it just wasn't John Congemi again. He's starting over.
Excellent punt by Hank Olisic. It's taken by Albert Brown. Good coverage by the Argos. They had 8 men downfield, and Bruce Holmes was the man who made the tackle.
And the thing you had to like about the coverage is that they spread out right across the field, and regardless of where Albert Brown turned, he had a blue jersey. They didn't give him any seam.
Through the first 6 games of the season, Burgess had those 19 touchdown passes. That's Bobby Jurison, who plays that defensive end position for Saskatchewan. And Burgess appeared as though he was going to break Peter Lisk's single season record of 40 touchdown passes rather easily. But he's been stalled. This is Tim McRae out to the 40-yard line, a gain of 17 yards before being stopped by Burgess. But even with a 4-3 set, they're having problems stopping Tim McRae. He has 14 more.
That was a real good job by Milson Jones, the lead back. They tried to
10. The Argos have yet to register a first down. Burgess is in trouble. He won't get a chance to throw. He was looking to the sidelines for Fairholm, and Tony Visco and Harold Hallman both. Second and 13 from the pocket. The pass is intercepted. Carl Brainsley, who came into the game without an interception, has now taken 2 away from Tom Burgess. It was intended for Ray Alphonse. Has done its job for Toronto in this opening quarter with just 15 seconds remaining. So far, there has been no production from the offense, and Gary Lewis was through quickly on Renfro. The Riders
hold it.
Second and 15. This should be the final play of the opening quarter. Renfro dumping it off for Fennerty, incomplete. For its initial first down of this ball game.
They look real sluggish again. You know, they don't seem to have the zip and the precision that you need.
And what a bad kick by Hank Alisic. He almost drove that into the backs of his offensive line. Penalty flag on the play as Albert Brown picks it up. If Alisic can't stop him, he was gone, and Alisic makes the tackle at midfield.
You know, sometimes if you're going to kick the ball that bad, you ought to have to make the tackle. I mean, he's a better punter than that.
No yards. Toronto 38 decline, first down.
I made my mistake on looking up in the air for the ball. I was looking for it, couldn't find it.
That was a low. Has replaced Tom Burgess to start this second quarter for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And Austin throws his first strike to Don Narcisse for 9.5, maybe 10 yards before Ed Berry made the tackle. Opposition squads when they were blitzing. Second and short. Milton Jones loses the football. Toronto has it.
You know, it almost looks like neither offense wants to move
because he was trying to block, but knocked it away from Milton Jones. Visco recovered. Renfro stays in at quarterback, and it's incomplete, intended for Jeff Boyd. He was throwing that one into a lot of traffic. Steve Crane was there, Albright was there, and I think Boyd is hurt.
Yeah, Boyd is going to really be hurt.
Second and 10, they try and swing it out to Ryan Hansen. It's incomplete. And the Argos are still looking for a first down. By Alisic that Richie Hall almost misplayed. Penalty flags go down. I think this may be a call against the Saskatchewan Roughriders' John Hoffman for an illegal block.
Yeah, he just jumped on the back of number 13, Ed Berry. He can't really have those type of receivers, along with Fennerty.
Draw play with McRae, and McRae is stopped at the 30-yard line, but that's a gain of about 9 yards. Bruce Holmes. Milson Jones hit hard by Tony Visco.
Well, that was a nice hit by Visco along with Bruce Holmes.
And Narcisse will try and get another, but he is wrapped up by Berry on the corner, stopped at the 40-yard line.
All the quarterback can ask for when he's throwing the football is to find the one-on-one coverage, and he got it again with Ed Berry on Narcisse, and the receivers should win that.
Again, the short yardage offense comes in with 11:21 remaining in the first half. Saskatchewan leading 3-0 on a field goal by David Ridgway.
Well, Milson says, well, here I go again. Gets the tough ones longer, and the chances of making a mistake are always there.
Ray Algard couldn't hang on to the throw from Kent Austin. It will be second and 10 Saskatchewan. It's intercepted by Bruce Holmes. The third interception for the Argos. Gil Fennerty Gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Stopped there by Eddie Lowe. Incomplete. Darrell Smith, the target. And the Bluebirds are active at the score. It's going to fall short. Taken on the run by Albert Brown out to the 18-yard line. So the score holds at 3-0. Saskatchewan leading, 8:57 remaining in the half.
You know, with that dome roof open the way it is, the wind goes in and whips out of there, so he was actually kicking into the wind and came up short.
Let's bring in Scott Oak on the sidelines.
Well, Don, prior to the start of the season, most experts picked the Edmonton Eskimos to win the owner Murray Pezim in BC.
I'd have some thoughts on the lack of Argonaut offense as well in this opening half. Penalty flag on the play. Knocked away by Carl Graisley. He came close to picking off his third pass. Penalty flag again. And Austin threw it behind Ray Elgard. Now there was movement at the line of scrimmage. Was it offside? Yes. Toronto this time. Narcisse is lined up against Barry. Coming back to the ball is Ray Elgard to make the catch into first down Saskatchewan.
Now that's the way you should throw it. Elgard in front of the defender, and when you throw the ball up high and Elgard's got the defender behind him, you're not going to knock it down very seldom. Graisley have to really...
Narcisse wide right, Guy to the left. Three receivers actually to the right side, and the handoff goes to Tim McRae. The Argos are really having a difficult time trying to stop Tim McRae tonight.
Yeah, he was hit first by middle linebacker.
Short yardage offense is in there. The second man through. Milson Jones fumbles the ball, and Barry gets it, flips it out to Reg Barry, and with Pleasant escorting him, he'll try and get down those sidelines, but Narcisse prevents him from getting there. So the Argos still looking for their initial first down. Gil Fenerty picks up about 3 yards. Let's take another look at the way that ball bounced away from Sean Daniels. His first carry.
First carry for the Roughriders. What's number 90, Visco? He's going to dive across the top of the pile, strip that ball with the left hand. Out it comes, and now the Berries take over. Ed Berry picks it up. He's going to go down, laterals at the Reg, and away they go. And you say Reggie Pleasant tries to lead him down the field.
2nd and 7, Toronto. For Lee Morris on the sidelines, he can't hang on. So the Argos. Whatever, they are giving Baker another opportunity to kick it. And this time he gets away a much better kick that Graisley takes at the 23-yard line. Graisley said, well, I did it before. I'll do it even better this time. Out to the 46.
That's about where he was before. That was good effort.
Sean Daniels is there to make the tackle. So the Toronto Argonauts have the ball. They rule that he touched down at the 45-yard line. We talked about the 3 talented receivers that the Argos had at the start of the season. Darrell Smith is out of the lineup, and now Jeff Boyd with that injury is going yards. On the season, Renfro has only completed 47.6% of his passes. Darrell Smith makes the catch, and the Argos do have a first down. In this first half, the score is tied at 3. Remember, stay tuned after the game for the Foster's MVP. And the way this one is going, it looks as though a defensive player will be chosen the star of this ball game. And right now, Carl Brazeley looks like a solid contender for such an honor.
That's where you're supposed to defeat that thing.
The Argos send 3 receivers to the left. Renfro will try and go over the middle, and it's intercepted by the safety, Suter. He pitches out to Cedric Moses, and Saskatchewan will take over at the 29. And Sean Daniels.
Every time McRae's run the football, he's averaging about 8.5 yards a carry.
Milson Jones struggled trying to get up to that 39-yard line. Didn't make it from a first down. And you can see that they're about a yard short.
He's going to kick the football. The way things have gone tonight for both these clubs, they'd have fumbled it anyway. So he might as well kick it. I mean, this ball's been on the ground a lot tonight.
John Gregory went running down the sidelines. The Rough Rider bench is located at the 40-yard line on the other end of the field. They're playing at the 38-yard line in the Saskatchewan half of the field. So now he decided it was too far, and Baker kicks it away. Lee Morris waits for it at the 25-yard line, and 3 Rough Riders are waiting for him up at the 30. 1:21 is the time remaining. The score is tied at 3 in the first half here at the Skydome. Leading rusher in the CFL has only added to his total by 9 yards. But he'll get more here. A first down for Gil Fenerty.
He worked hard for that carry, skipper, but no argument from the Argonaut bench, and the referee didn't think so.
The screen to Hudson. Penalty flag on the play as Hudson is stopped about 3 yards short of a first down by Richie Hall. Albert Brown on this return with a hole. Touchdown. Is this the Skydome or Taylor Field we're at?
I just got to look around here. Something doesn't make sense.
85 yards for Albert Brown, and there was a roar from the crowd. You'd almost think the Argos had scored a touchdown.
You know, they set the return up to the side of the field. Oh, and the guy runs it back 85 yards. Big break for Saskatchewan. Well executed.
Morris has difficulty with that kickoff. And he stopped at the 24-yard line. 22 Argonaut supporters. They would like to see John Kangemi as the starting quarterback. Warren Hudson, the ball carrier, out to the 30-yard line. Neither Renfro.
I think we'll see Kangemi in the second half, but I don't want to bet on it.
This should be the final play of the half. Fenerty picks up about 1 yard, and Eddie Lowe seems to be going everywhere that Gil Fenerty goes, and it's the defensive player. Hudson, the ball carrier, on the Argos' first move. Over the middle, and it's complete for a first down. Hoskins on the receiving end. It was intended for Hudson, incomplete. It will be Visco, I should have said.
Visco's a big kid, too, and Moan's very consistent. Doesn't miss many ball games. That's the key.
Kangemi deep from a sideways. Goodbye. So Lance Chomik with the point after, and this game is tied. You're watching the 4th touchdown pass this year for Toronto quarterbacks. Guy on the kickoff return is upset at the 32-yard line by Carl Brazeley. Tom Burgess started the ball game. Kent Austin took over in the second quarter, and he will continue in this second half as the Saskatchewan quarterback.
Watch the time that John can
flag on the play as McRae is brought down. Todd Wiseman and Tony Visco came up to make the tackle. block.
Back block. Saskatchewan number 81. First down repeated.
You can't line.
First and 25 now. The Roughriders at their own 17. The score tied at 10. He better hurry. He gets it away just in time. Over the middle to Tim McCray. McCray escaped the first two would-be tacklers, but Don Moon caught him. Austin going deep for Fairholm. He can't catch up with it. He was being covered by Reg Berry.
Berry was on it.
In good field position again. Graisley waits for it at the 42. He won't go any further than the 45-yard. Gil Fennerty takes the toss, follows the block of Hudson, will only get about 3 yards before being stacked up by Steve Crane.
Run that toss into the sideline.
Question up until about 6 o'clock whether or not they would open the roof, and they decided to open it up, and it is a beautiful evening in Toronto. Swing pass to Hudson. He has a blocker out in front of him. He doesn't go out of bounds until he gets to the 30s. Draw play with Fennerty. Statistics in a big hurry. A 30-yard run for a go-ahead touchdown for the Argos.
You throw the pass, you mix things up, they throw a screen, a long pass to Masadi, then
prepares to kick off. The Argos ahead 17-10. Mark Guy from the 10-yard line on the kickoff return. Stopped at the 35 by Floyd Salazar. Austin's pass deflects and is caught by Ray Elgar. He was not the intended receiver, but it deflected high into his hand.
Through the curl route to Narcisse.
At their own 47. Draw play with Tim McCray. He has been running hard since the opening whistle. And he will be
into the zones. The linebackers are a little bit loose, and he's been able to find cracks in there and make good yardage.
McCray to the 45. Hitch screen to Narcisse. The blocking doesn't materialize the way the Roughriders had hoped, and Tony Visco got over there with Ed Berry to make the tackle.
That was good reaction.
The Riders are gambling 3rd and 2 from the 40-yard line. Milton Jones falls. He won't get it. Seventh turnover of this ball game for the Roughriders. Twice they have given it up on downs. Jemmy to Hudson, and Eddie Lowe is over to make the tackle. The ball comes loose, and the Argos get it back.
They're going to lose yardage on a completed pass. Hudson caught the ball with about a 4-yard gain
in this 3rd quarter. And Jemmy to the sidelines to Masadi. He'll be very close to a first down. The fans don't like the spot that the official gave Masadi at the 52.
That's a pretty
for the Toronto Argonauts. On the pad kick. Albert Brown, who returned one 85 yards, is stopped at the 12. There are penalty flags on the play.
He's probably sore from making those tackles in the first half. I don't know. We never got any word on an injury. He kicked off.
Illegal block. Saskatchewan number 33.
We'll be playing in Leningrad. We'll have that game for you. Perry Neal, Ron McLean, and I will be heading to the Soviet Union next week. The ball is loose. The Argos say they've got it, and the officials agree. Reg Berry with the ball. Ball game. Now it's up to Congemi. Finnerty makes the catch. He did a juggling act, but managed to hang on. Cedric Moses takes him out of bounds.
Boy, good job on that. The way John Congemi sees that with 3 receivers over there, when Darrell Smith, number 1, comes off the line.
Second man through, he's got the first down. You know, in the first half, the Argos managed just 65 yards in total. First and goal, Toronto. This goes in there as a receiver. And I think as Congemi rolled to his second and goal, but now the Argos are back at the 13-yard line. Darrell Smith, touchdown.
The receivers and the talent that the Argos have, is sooner or later things have to start clicking.
Mark Guy on the return for Saskatchewan is brought down at the 37-yard line by Ed Berry. Starter Gilbert Renfro. Nelson Jones did not hang on to that. The way Chomik handled that first punt, I don't think they have to be too concerned about their punting chores in this ball game. Narcisse on the receiving end of the throw for a first down. The Riders got their lone touchdown on an 85-yard punt return by Albert Brown late in the second quarter. Ray Elgard will be close to another Saskatchewan first down.
They didn't take advantage of theirs, and in the second half, the Argos have come out and got a little bit on fire.
Penalty flag as McCray is caught by Don Moan.
We're going to get a holding call on 64. Ken Moore, to find out what it is, a lot of coaches would like to know.
Second and 12. Narcisse trying to come back to the ball. Graisley has his third interception of the night.
That pass just got away from Austin. It was fluttering real badly up in the wind. Graisley just came back and caught it.
Retained possession and put it into the end zone for a touchdown. Well, he sacrificed 4 points right there. Another diving catch by Darrell Smith.
Now that's the Darrell Smith you remember from last.
Paul Massotti gets a block from Blaine Schmidt. He's got a first down. 24-10. Massotti goes wide right. Lee Morris splits to the left. Brian Hansen breaks 2 tackles. And Albert Brown stops him and also jars the ball loose, but the whistle had gone.
That's a good pattern, a good play executed. They put 3 receivers out. They lay it off to Hansen. Now, he has to beat the first guy. And when he catches the football, he turns it inside and he beats them. Then he can get some help from his friends, and he just turned it into a big game. Watch him. He'll swing out. All right, here comes Blaine Schmidt, 54 out to help. Now, he's got to beat low, which he does. Now he can get some help. He beats another.
Congemi with lots of time. He was motioning downfield, indicating that he wanted hostile position.
Boy, I'll tell you, when you're a quarterback, a right-handed quarterback, the guy's got left tackle position, you really appreciate it because that's your blind side.
Congemi will run this one.
About this with Matt Dunnigan one time, and I'm not comparing John Congemi's running style.
Lethargic offensively during that first half. Under Congemi's direction in the second, they have been a lively, spirited team. This one is intercepted, and Eddie Lowe will try and beat John Congemi to the end zone, but Congemi got just enough of him to knock him down at the 50, and Congemi appears to be hurt. You're watching Foster's CFL on CBC live from Toronto. And Austin continues at quarterback for Saskatchewan, trying to go deep to Narcisse. First down at the 10.
bit of a turnover, a spark gets them rolling right away.
Down without scoring a touchdown. Tim McRae cuts back inside. Donnie Moan caught him from behind.
What's a good thing Moan caught him from behind. When McRae made that turn to come back upfield into the middle, it looked like clear sailing.
Being chased by Bayless, throws into the end zone, incomplete. Graisley was defending against Ellingson. Graisley has played a whale of a ball game. 3 interceptions, and he's had about 3 knockdowns of that nature.
You know, I think in some ways the Argonauts were hurting a little bit this year for leadership, and Carl Graisley is a natural. Come on, 10 years in the league. Tonight, he's played an outstanding football game. Look at him dive out. Saskatchewan a little upset and wanted an interference call, but tell you what, that's a good defense.
Austin to Narcisse. Obilovich has to be somewhat relieved that they are only going to come away with 3 points as Ridgway puts it through with 10:16 remaining. 24-13 is the score.
No, not really, not really.
Lee Morris on the kickoff return, starting at the 10-yard line. Algard makes the tackle up at the 32.
You know, you saw that statistic on the screen a while ago that the Saskatchewan Roughriders have done a great job in the 4th quarter. Very important now for Conjemi.
That tackle on Eddie Lowe following the interception. Three receivers wide to the right. Conjemi drills it to Darrell Smith. First down up at the 46. On the sidelines with a report, here's Scott.
Well, Don, there are a couple of firsts taking place in this game tonight. One, you might say, is that the Argo offense is finally in gear, and the second is that for the first time in CFL history, there's a female official working the game. She is 25-year-old Sarah Ann Smirlick of Toronto, who has worked high school football games on the field as a line judge, working the stick crew here tonight, and she hopes someday to be working on the field here as an official.
Gil Fennerty, the ball carrier, to midfield. Well, Fennerty is 72 yards now. Penalty flags in the play, and Fennerty battles for a couple of more that should give him a first down. He had 792 coming into the game, and if my mathematics are correct, he now is 864.
Yeah, and he's going to lose this one because of illegal procedure. One of the linemen on the left side of the line moved before the ball was snapped, and the referee standing behind the offensive backfield threw the flag immediately.
Illegal procedure, Toronto number 54. Second down repeated.
Fennerty said prior to the start of the season that his objective for 1989 was 1,800 rushing yards. He has some work to do if he is going to realize that goal, but he is the leading rusher in the league, and he's going to go over 1,000 yards quite comfortably. He should be around 1,500 if he produces the same way in the second half as he has done in the first. Darrell Smith has been the favorite target of Conjemi in this second half. That's his 6th reception of the ball game, replacing Hank Alisic, who is suffering from a pulled groin, an injury that has plagued him throughout this season. Albert Brown reverses his field. If he can get outside of Tony Visco, he might go a distance. He got away from Visco, but it was Ed Berry who forced him out up at the 43-yard line, but still a good job of a punt return. 3 of Toronto, stopped by Floyd Salazar. .7:15 the time left in this football game. 1st and 10 Saskatchewan at the 53 of Toronto. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll be at Lansdowne Park in Ottawa as the Roughriders entertain the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Austin swings it out to McRae. What a workload he has carried this evening, and he has responded both as a runner and as a pass receiver. 37. Quickly inside for Fairholm, intercepted by Holmes. He pitches it out, the ball is loose, and the Riders might get it back. They do. I think Holmes might be chastised over at that Argo bench by Bob Obilovich for that one. The Riders retain possession. This is Foster's CFL on CBC. 21 remaining, and you intercept a pass to snuff out a drive. You don't go pitching that ball away.
That's the second time he's done it. Fairholm tried to get inside, and the play was made by number 21, Redberry, but the ball pops up. But you don't do that with the football. You're right. 6 minutes left. Possession of the football is vital. You take time off the clock. Now they got to start all over again. But Fairholm was on the ground when he intercepted, and Fairholm got back and recovered the fumble. That's awesome.
First and 10 Saskatchewan at the 45 of Toronto. McRae will get only 3 yards this time as he's stopped by Floyd Salazar.
You know, people are surprised at the speed that he has. When he catches the ball downfield, he outruns a lot of people. I don't think they realize just how fast Fairholm is.
I think a lot of people are impressed with the toughness of this young receiver as well.
Oh, you have to be impressed with that. When you're a slot back in the middle, you take a lot of hits, and he makes a lot of big catches for Saskatchewan.
Grabbed by Rodney Harding. That is called putting the brakes on rather abruptly.
I'll tell you something else, too. Sometimes you make the play when you really have to make it. When Austin scrambled outside, Narcisse broke downfield and was wide open behind Ed Berry, but Kent Austin could never get the chance to slow down to throw it because of number 77. He went deep about right now, and he probably sees him, but look at this big left hand and right arm come out. He says, you're not going anywhere.
5:23 is the time remaining. Baker punting, trying to angle it out of bounds, and it will go out at the 1-yard line. He got a very fortunate bounce, and he has reason to smile as it goes out of bounds, a 45-yard kick at the 1-yard line.
You know, we've said many times, Don, that ball does some crazy things when it hits artificial turf. Normally, you would expect the ball to become, the wind is coming with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Now, I know we're inside, but it's a little strange. That ball should hit and go in the end zone, but it hit on the side and kicks out at the 1-yard line. That's a great kick.
Now with 5:04 remaining, it will be up to the Rider defense to get that ball back. Gil Finnerty stopped right at the line of scrimmage. He may have picked up a yard. Scott?
Argo bench receiver Jeff Boyd is dejected, to say the least, with a cast on his left foot, his left ankle broken, and facing the realization that his season is likely over. Did you know it was broken right away?
Yeah, I did. When I got hit, I felt it snap, and everything got numb, so I figured it was a break right away.
And you're counting on not being back before the playoffs, then?
I really don't know. I'm going to the hospital directly after the game, so I'll know more when they know more.
Well, we wish you a speedy recovery, Jeff.
Thanks a lot.
Don?
This one goes deep, intended for Morris, incomplete. He was being covered by Albert Brown. Kajemi runs downfield to talk to the official, thinking that there should have been a flag on the play. But the play will stand, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders will get the ball back as Chomik will be kicking from the end zone.
I don't really think so. Albert Brown's turned inside. He's facing inside. He's got a right to go to the football also. He had a referee in front of it and a one behind it. That's a good call. Let him play football. Interference is a deliberate intent to interfere with the receiver making the catch. I couldn't tell by that replay whether he's playing the ball or what. I say he's playing the ball. I think it's good defense.
An end-over-end kick that bounces to Albert Brown. Penalty flag on the play. It appears as though it will be no yards against Bruce Holmes.
I knew he didn't hit that one from that little bit that we saw on the screen. The ball was not set properly on his foot, and he shanked it.
3:53 is the time remaining.
58. First down.
You know, Scott mentioned that Jeff Boyd's season may be over. It could be a career because he's 31 years of age, and it might be difficult for a veteran such as Jeff Boyd to come back.
Well,
another season.
He talked about retiring last year, if I'm not mistaken. Let's watch, see if we can see him put the ball on the foot. The snap is good, right where it should be, but look at the ball. Did not hit the foot. As soon as it come off the foot, he makes the face. He knew it wasn't hit very well.
Tim McRae, the ball carrier, for a gain of 9 yards, maybe even 10.
Well, they've got a solid effort tonight out of Tim McRae. He has run well. He has caught passes. He's done everything you would expect him to do.
137 yards in this ball game for Tim McRae.
Not a bad night's work.
And when John Gregory looks at the videotapes of this game, it will be that first half where the Riders had so many chances and failed to capitalize that he'll be concerned about. Kent Austin keeps for the first down with 3:04 remaining in the ball game. We'll return right after this. Gil Fennerty and Reggie Taylor. He's ahead of Tim Jesse. Jesse of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will be in action tomorrow, of course, as the Bombers entertain the BC Lions. We'll be at Lansdowne Park in Ottawa as the Roughriders host the Hamilton Tiger Cats. John Gregory looks up at the clock, 3:04 remaining. His team in a position they were in earlier in this quarter. 1st and 10, just outside the 10-yard line.
I think if you're John Gregory looking up there, you still have a chance to win this football game. It's not out of reach, even though there's only 3 minutes left. You got to get it into the end zone in a hurry.
They'll do it right here with Elgard. He said they had to do it in a hurry. It only took 12 seconds.
Go for 2 right now also. Going to run down, turn to the flag, use his height, throw it up high. He goes up and pulls it down. Now they go for 2 points. 1 point really doesn't do them any good. But if they get the 2-point conversion, they're only 3. A field goal from tying. Good call by John Gregory. The 1 point does nothing for him.
2-point conversion try. It's deflected. Tim McRae catches. He is caught immediately.
What a lot of teams have done, going for 2 points like that, or short yardage, whatever you want to call it, they go to a zone defense on the wide side of the field. Everybody's trying to run that 4th receiver out, looking for picks and people to get hung up in traffic and then hit the back in the flat. Everybody is going to the zone defense. Another replay of the touchdown. Austin just takes a look, lays it up high. This is what you have to like. Watch Elgard use his size. Just pulls it down. Good job.
Ray Elgard got in front of Reg Berry. Ed Berry. Yeah. Reg is number 21. Ed is
Berry
13.
boys.
In front of one of the Berry boys to make a very good catch.
Well, what you want right now, if you're John Gregory, you would like to see Dave Ridgway with the wind at his back, hang this thing up real high and deep, get down there, make him kick the football, then you have the chance to either win it with a touchdown. I guess that's all you got. You missed the 2-point conversion, didn't you? But I think they have a chance with 2:52.
Well, you wouldn't expect the wind to be a factor inside the dome, but it just blew the ball off the kicking tee.
I was just looking at the flags high above the Jumbotron here. Blowing pretty good.
Lee Morris on this kickoff return. He fumbles the ball. Who's got it? It is loose, and I think Toronto retained possession. They do.
Well, I'll tell you, you never know what's going to happen in this game of football, do you? And when you can least afford it, something goes wrong. They return the kick in the last part of the 2nd quarter, and this time they almost lose possession on a fumble. They're hit by James Ellingson. Looked like he tried to steal the football out of his hands. Popped it loose. And Jimmy knows one thing. He needs first downs. You need them. All right, there's a good block run over Fairholm, but there it is. Ellingson, 85, just lost the football. Couldn't get it.
It appeared as though a foot again came up to knock that ball away from Lee Morris. This time Eddie Lowe stops Gil Fennerty right at the line of scrimmage. We saw earlier in the ball game where Brian Illebrun's foot came flying up and knocked the ball away from Milson Jones. That time it was a foot of a player who had been blocked out who knocked it away from Lee Morris on the kick return. 2:34 is the time remaining.
Yeah, well, that's what the discussion is right now. Ross Perrier has got the game held up. I think they're going to add a couple seconds to that clock. When that whistle blows, the clock should stop. It ran for a few seconds. One of the referees is over talking to the timekeeper. Let's see what they're going to do with it.
We've been informed that there should be additional time added to that clock. And John Gregory obviously feels the same way. For Bobo Bilovich, those 2 minutes and 34 seconds can't elapse quickly enough.
Yeah, when the whistle blew, the clock didn't stop. The official ran over immediately and pointed to the clock, and it was running. He told the head referee, Ross Perrier, and he immediately sent one of his men over to talk to the official timer down on around the 35-yard line. Let's see what happens now.
Well, the clock wouldn't have started until the ball was snapped.
Right.
And we're informed that it should perhaps read 2:44 as the time remaining.
Well, that's a lot. 2:44, 10 seconds. I don't think it ran 10 seconds. But I know there's got to be some seconds go back up on there.
2:38.
2:38.
That's the difference in the time.
Big play right now. Second down, 9 3/4 yards to go, and 2:35. He's got to throw the football. Who's he going to go to?
Morris comes wide left. Masadi out to the right.
Well, they're showing blitz.
Jemmy trying to call an audible. He got it away just in time. Throwing low for Masadi.
They showed blitz, and they stayed in the blitz all the way. Jemmy saw it. That's why he stood up and called the audible. He tried to throw the real quick hitch Masadi's way, threw it in the ground. But that hurts because they're going to give up the football around midfield.
The man with the clipboard there is Bobby McAllister, the third-string quarterback for the Argos.
This is when you need the big punt right now.
Here comes pressure up the middle. Chomik with the kick. Albert Brown takes it at his own 40-yard line. And he wisely goes out of bounds at about the 45. That will stop the clock with 2:06 remaining. Well, tomorrow afternoon we'll be at Lansdowne Park in Ottawa as the Hamilton Tiger Cats take on the Ottawa Roughriders. Hamilton in first place in the Eastern Division with a 6-3 record. Ottawa still winless through 9 games. So with 2:06 remaining, the Saskatchewan Roughriders are 65 yards away from the end zone. Richie Hall is the injured Saskatchewan player.
That's a pretty wise thing Albert Brown did, running out of bounds. When he looked up and turned outside, he's only going to get about 2 or 3 more yards. Just go out of bounds, does a couple things, stops the clock, but you don't take any chances of fumbling the ball.
Richie Hall, obtained by Saskatchewan from Calgary in a trade a year ago. And the Toronto Argonauts certainly like to get this man back in the lineup, Glenn Kulka. He was their sack leader prior to being hurt. Actually, he played in pain a couple of games after suffering that concussion.
Yeah, I think when they talked about the recurring headaches and the constant headaches, the best thing for him, sit out a few games. Football's a great game, but someday you're not going to be playing. So the big thing is make sure you're healthy when you go in there.
First and 10 from the 45 to Narcisse. Ed Barry has him after a gain of about 8. 2:02 is the time remaining in the ball game.
Get the play called right now. That's it. The referee will blow the whistle to start the clock. You can have the play called. As soon as he blows the whistle, snap it.
The pitch to Tim McRae. He's got a first down. Don Moen made the tackle. Saskatchewan first and 10. They have the ball at the 54 of Toronto. 1:56 is the time remaining. Again, that hurry-up offense with that whistle. The clock starts. Austin for Narcisse. First down at the 34 of Toronto.
Got in a man-to-man coverage. That's right up Narcisse's alley. You get that defensive back one-on-one. Right across the middle, nobody near him when he makes the catch. The hurry-up offense is still in effect, though. 7 receptions. He's had a big night.
1:45, the time showing on the clock. The draw play with Tim McRae. McRae is another first down.
I'll tell you, that was a great call. you're in a hurry-up offense. You expect them to throw the football. The Argonauts showed blitz to the wide side of the field. Watch them. All the Argonauts are over here. If McCray springs that clean, he's going to run a long way. That's a good job.
First and 10. Hand off to McCray again. And McCray is stopped this time at the 20-yard line. 1:33 is the time remaining.
A lot of time. No, you don't have to hurry right now. You're only about 20 yards, 21 yards from pay dirt. You can take your time with 1 minute and 33 seconds left.
Well, John Gregory saw his team pull one out in their season opener against the Calgary Stampeders, winning 32-29. What a game McCray has enjoyed here at the Sky Dome. On second down, into the end zone, Narcisse, touchdown!
Well, you go back to that, what we said, Don, the interception by Eddie Lowe, when the Argonauts were moving the football down the field. Sometimes you never know what play can do it, but it sparked them and they got things going. And right now, a great throw from Austin to Narcisse puts them ahead.
Don Narcisse, 8 receptions for 133 yards. That's his 8th touchdown catch of this ball game.
The decision now is to go for 1 or 2. I say you go for 2. Go for 1, a field goal can beat you. Right now, you go for 2, they need the field goal to tie. He looks at the over-under pattern, Fairholm and Elgard crossing, and then into the end zone, deep behind it, is Narcisse. Look at him, just bang, go inside. You see Carl Brazeley looking at Elgard, right in behind him. Nobody there. Nice throw, well executed.
In that season opener, it was Tom Burgess replacing Batman Kent Austin, who pulled it out in the fourth quarter, a 32-29 victory over the Calgary Stampeders. Here it's Kent Austin who comes through with that touchdown pass to the same man, Don Narcisse, that has now put Saskatchewan ahead of the Toronto Argonauts. Ryan Ellis starts from the 10-yard line. Hoffman did a good job in forcing him back into the middle. Hoffman coming down in that outside lane forced Morris back into the middle where Rob Bresciani was there to make the tackle.
Not only forced him back in, he forced him to stop and make a move. And anytime you do that, you lose your momentum and your speed, and that allows the rest of the guys to come help you. Conjemi got 1 minute and 19 seconds to get about 50 yards.
Players on special teams often don't get a great deal of recognition.
Just by their teammates and coaches, because they know how important they are.
First and 10, Toronto. The ball is at the 33-yard line. Pressure up the middle. That screen pass to Hudson. Oh, excellent play. Richie Hall comes up to drop Hudson right at the line of scrimmage. Now, you talk about a size differential. You've got Richie Hall, 5'6", 160 pounds. And then you've got Hudson at 6'2", 2 1/4.
Yeah, but what you have to like is he's not stupid. Watch where he hits him. Right down low underneath. Cut the legs out from under.
This is Hudson again. He won't get the first down. He stopped at the 40 with 1:03 remaining.
Well, this is it. It's going to come down to third and about almost 3 yards. Got to have the first down. Little stranger going to Hudson. But he's open. You got to move the football. Get it to the open receiver. Hope he can break a couple tackles.
Third down gamble. Penalty flag on the play. The pass incomplete. Intended for Hoskins.
See what the penalty is. That's the only hope for the Argonauts.
It appears to be against Toronto.
Against Toronto. Line it, take the ball.
Illegal procedure. Toronto number 88, decline. Saskatchewan, first down.
55 seconds, the time remaining. And just when it looked as though things were going so well for Bob Abilovich, as you said, Ron, on that drive, Conjemi throwing the interception that Eddie Lowe returns, and suddenly the Roughriders had some life, and they responded.
Well, we saw the Argonauts come to life after the long pass to Paul Masadi. That seemed to get them going. For Saskatchewan, it was the interception by Eddie Lowe out in the flat that got him going.
Milton Jones, the ball carrier. He'll pick up about 3 yards and takes 4 seconds off the clock.
Gaining yards on that play, you don't really care. All you want to do is make sure you don't fumble the football. If he gains yards, that's a plus. Bilton Jones covered it up with both hands when he went down. Good job. Now Austin will waste he's got 14 seconds left till the clock runs out. He's got time.
I'm sure John Gregory must have been thinking that his team had squandered so many opportunities in that first half. But they got their opportunities again in this second half. They have taken advantage. Milton Jones carrying the ball down to the 32-yard line. 29 seconds is the time remaining. And the Roughriders send out the field goal unit.
Yeah, Toronto calls time. Try to save as much time as possible. Clock won't start till the ball snap. Ridgway's going to attempt a field goal somewhere around 39 yards. Well within his range.
Particularly with the wind at his back.
Seems funny to talk about wind when you're in this place. But the wind has been a factor in tonight's ballgame.
And his comment prior to the game when he was asked about the wind here in the Dome, I still chuckle about it. He said, "Are you kidding? After kicking at Taylor Field for 8 years?"
I like what Ridgway said to me. He said, there's not a lot of difference in this place and Taylor Field except for the restaurant, the Jumbotron, and the
CN Tower.
CN Tower.
And the hotel.
It's all the same. Oh, that's right, the hotel.
Field goal try by Ridgway. And it's good. 24 seconds is the time remaining, and the Roughriders now lead it by 5.
Do you have any trick plays? This is a good time to show them, because don't let them kick off because they've been kicking the ball awful deep. Take the ball in the 35. I might send 3 receivers to one side of the field, send them all deep and throw a screen to Fennerty off of it and let him run. Yeah, they're going to be sitting real deep.
If this score holds, it will be the 3rd loss this year inflicted upon the Argos by 5 points. They lost one by 1 point and another by 4 points. Jemmy to Darrell Smith, and Smith is driven out of bounds by Albert Brown with 16 seconds remaining. Toronto has a first down up at the 45.5.
First thing I'd ask is if he was out of bounds. I'm not sure he was.
Happened directly in front of the Saskatchewan bench, and there wasn't a great deal of protest by the Roughriders, so he must have been out of bounds.
He wasn't out because it was. They wouldn't have started till the snap.
Right. Hudson, the ball carrier, he gets down to the 54 with 9 seconds remaining.
You got to throw it now. Throw it deep. Hope for anything. And the way this game's gone, just about anything can happen on it, too. We've had a lot of strange plays tonight.
The Argos have to put it in the end zone. This could be the final play of the ball game. Jemmy for Smith.
Too late.
It's too late as time has run out. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders end their 4-game losing streak, coming from behind for a 29-24 victory over the Toronto Argonauts. We'll be back with our most valuable little yards for number 14, Tim McRae, our Foster's MVP, as the Riders beat the Argos 29-24. Scott?
And I'm with the Foster's MVP in tonight's game, Tim McRae. Tim, you pulled one out against Calgary in the season opener. This one compares.
Oh, yeah. We was thinking at one time, we was going to let it slip through our hand. But, we a veteran team, and we kept our composure and say we didn't never give up and say, hey, we can pull this one out. And I thank God that we did.
Well, you had a great night, but there were some fumbles in the first half, a couple of turnovers that you must have been very concerned about. You must have been concerned that this game could have been slipping away from you then.
Yeah, well, last week penalties and turnovers killed us, and we knew going into this game we couldn't make those kind of mistakes, and it seemed like history was going to repeat itself. So, we just had to dig deep and say, well, hey, just forget about the turnovers and let's play football.
The Argo defense stopped mostly everything, as it turned out, save for your running. They couldn't stop you.
Well, we got a good offensive line. I credit them, and those guys always want to block and want to give me the ball, and we hadn't been running the ball that much since we fall behind in games. But I felt as though coming into the game that tonight would be the night.
Okay, Tim, thank you very much. Let's go back upstairs to Don and Ron.
An impressive performance by Tim McRae, but it was a game loaded with errors, and the Roughriders survived more so than the Argos.
Yeah, I did. It was a strange game. We had just about everything that happened could happen, but finally the second half they started to play some very good football and got things going.
The winning touchdown, a pass from Kent Austin to Don Narcisse.
See what you see here. You see Narcisse going deep, but look right in the middle. Elgar's cutting in front of Carl Brazeley. But what happens, we don't get anybody over here to cover Narcisse, and he's wide open in the touchdown. It's a good read by Austin.
So that winning touchdown by Don Narcisse with a field goal by David Ridgway, making it 29-24 Saskatchewan. Scott?
Well, Don, could it be when the season is over, the Roughriders will look back at this game as the turning point of the season? It is entirely possible because it snaps their 4-game losing streak and puts them back at 500 with 5 wins and 5 defeats. 29-24, Saskatchewan over Toronto at the Sky Dome tonight. We leave for Ottawa now and remind you to be with us tomorrow afternoon as the Roughriders, still looking for their first victory, will try to take it from the first place Hamilton Tiger Cats, and we'll have the telecast beginning at 1:30 Eastern. We also remind you the Molson Export Million from Woodbine follows our telecast everywhere in the country except in the Maritimes, where it will be seen following late local news. Thanks for being with us tonight. The head of Network Sports for CBC TV is Arthur Smith. The senior producer of the CFL on CBC is Lee Herberman. Tonight's